dealing with the loss, those emotions, and then as the story progresses, I don't know, it's kind of like most likely the beginning of the story. The Koredo 2 building in Nihonbashi, kind of downtown Tokyo. Just finished watching Top Gun Maverick for the third time. Wanted to try it out in the Dolby Atmos theater, check out the sound system. The sound system's really good, although I think only one scene that was at the beginning of the film did I actually was just wowed by the sound when the Black Hawk took off from the runway. But in terms of writing, one thing I was kind of having fun with following was the number of times Maverick would say, "Goose, talk to me." And yes, that it's only repeated twice, but they are in key scenes when he does say that. And one thing that I haven't mentioned before about the film is the whole situation Maverick's going through, which I think I've read one time in a different thing, long time ago, was a kind of psychological condition known as survivor guilt. So when people who've gone through an ordeal, dealing with a close one, a loved one, a family one who died, but the person dealing with the loss, having trouble with it, something known as survivor guilt, and definitely that's something that Maverick was going through or trying to deal with throughout the film. In that perspective, to watch him go through those emotions, and then as the story progresses, overcoming those emotions, accepting the past, and trying to build a better future. It's quite an emotional ride, actually. Like I've said before, I've had to deal with my own personal experiences with survivor guilt. A few friends passing away, accidents, and certain illnesses. Throughout the film, Maverick says the line, "Goose, talk to me." And you gotta see the film. It's one of those kind of lines that pretty much he doesn't say to anyone else but himself. So I think writing something like that is a really good way of connecting the character to the audience, because he doesn't share it with anyone else in the film other than the audience. And it's a really, really touching line. It's kind of, it really brings out the emotional ride of the film. It's not just an action movie, but it's a really deep story. I don't know how many people have had to deal with survivor guilt or the loss of a loved one. I don't know. I guess maybe for me, watching the film 3 times is really quite almost therapeutic in a way. If you love the genre, action films, Tom Cruise Maverick is definitely gonna, I believe, go down as one of the greats, one of the best films in the genre ever to be made, and hopefully it will inspire future generations of action film directors and writers, actors and actresses. Top Gun Maverick. I probably gonna see it again, definitely, before the run is over. But between IMAX 4DX and Dolby Atmos, it's gonna be IMAX. Gotta see the film in IMAX. It is quite an experience in IMAX. Nihonbashi, one of the more historical spots in all of Tokyo. The site of the Corredo 2 building, where Toho Cinema's Nihonbashi, just down the street here. Yeah, here's take a look at the bridge here. The lion statues, lion gargoyles, can we call them that? Here we are in hiragana. This one's ni, ho, n. Nihon, oh, mushi. Nihonbashi. Okay, but the Chinese characters over there, Nihonbashi. Yeah, so where I mentioned earlier about that line, "Goose, talk to me," which Maverick doesn't say to any of the other characters, and only the audience gets to hear him say that line. There's another thing that I thought was something to consider in terms of writing, and that's key lines or shared lines between characters that are repeated, most likely twice throughout the story, to show how the characters are connected, but also the tone, difference in tone of when they're said. Let's see, for example, it was noticed this especially during was it Maverick, and oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot the name of the African American character with the glasses, who is pretty much Tom Cruise's biggest supporter. Tom Cruise's Maverick's biggest supporter throughout the film. Was it line was I don't like the look on your face, and then Maverick says, "It's the only one I got." In the beginning of the film, the Maverick's friend says that, making sure, warning or making sure that Maverick doesn't go beyond their target speed of Mach 10. But he knows, because the kind of character that Maverick is, that he's going to push it. So it's a bit of a comical line. But then, just before the mission, they share that line one more time. But it takes a bit of a more somber tone, because it's quite possibly the last time they'll ever see each other, if Maverick's character is able to complete the mission successfully and alive. But I think, I don't know, it's kind of like a good song. You introduce it most likely at the beginning of the story, and then bring it back most likely towards the probably beginning of the third act, as they did in the film. And keep in mind the difference in tone that the line takes when it's brought back. But there are a few more examples. I'll try to remember it while I'm kind of touring Nihonbashi here. But definitely, it's a really good writing technique that could really do some good to your story. So yeah, check it out, Top Gun Maverick. And here we are in Nihonbashi. Here's the river, and it's really interesting looking restaurant with the torches out here. Definitely have to try that out sometime. But yeah, Nihonbashi, really one of the really historic places to visit in Tokyo. Act 1. Kind of action. Sirens out here. Act 3. So yeah, I think one thing to help with writing this will full story pretty much straight to Tokyo Station. I'd like to add to had that 80s buddy cop feel.